How's it going once again? Yep, I'm coming right back at you now with another blogging video. I think I figured out how I can actually make this work to where I can actually respond to posts in the chatting area. So hopefully this will work out this time. But I am going to talk about, and it's touching on the fact that I have come across this nanodegree program through Udacity, and it's enabled me to really maintain motivation and discipline because obviously with this pandemic, with a lot of places being closed, not really being able to go to the gym, even a lot of parks being closed and having really few areas to go out there and exercise or even just get things done. And it's also a time when I'm sure the job market's going to be drastically changing. People are going to probably be looking for jobs where you can work from home. I mean, it's going to change the landscape by quite a bit. So I figure what's really helped me to maintain motivation along with discipline is for the fact that I got to manage this free time that I have. I've got to take advantage of this free time and utilize it because I figure there might not be another time when I have such free time to really devote hours a day on acquiring the skills to become a data analyst, because that is my goal. Like I mentioned, it is my goal, hopefully by the end of the summer, to get myself a job as a data analyst simply by completing this nanodegree program, touching up my LinkedIn profile along with my GitHub profile. And I'm gonna actually post both of those onto the description once this video finally does upload. But how I do it, really, what's really motivating me is, of course, the fact that my given situation can easily be remedied simply by getting myself a good job. I mean, that's pretty much one of the strong motivating factors. Like I mentioned in my Debbie Downer video, I mean, the loneliness, debt. And I mean, a lot of people are in debt. I mean, that's a given. A large amount of people are in debt. Almost everyone has debt. But here's the thing, it's how much debt you have at what particular age, and of course, how much you're bringing in. So like, let's say if someone has $100,000 in debt and they're making $100,000 a year, well, then it's not so bad. I mean, it's still a lot of debt, but you're going to be able to pay it off a lot quicker, especially if you don't have children to worry about. Like in my case, like say, even if I get myself a job making 40 or 50K a year, I'm going to be that much better off and actually be able to eat away at my debt. It might take me, say, like 10 years, 8 to 10 years, but that's a lot better than, say, like 20 years at the current rate I'm going right now, which, of course, with most of the jobs I've had, they've been paying me at minimum wage. So that's really been giving me the motivation. And how I do it is I break up my studies or my work sessions into time chunks, because obviously, I mean, I could like hunker down and be like, all right, I'm going to treat this like it is an actual job and I'm going to sit down for 8 full hours straight and then call it a day. Well, more than likely, the job field I'm going into is you're going to be able to kind of set your own cadence as it is. I mean, you're going to be working a lot of hours a week, but you're going to be able to set your own cadence. And so it's going to enable me to kind of like not have to worry about working, a strict shift, say from like 8 to 4 or 8 to 5, having to take lunch at a certain time. It's a matter of being able to set your own cadence. Like for instance, how I break it up is I find that I'm most productive early in the day. So that's when I'm going to put in longer chunks. So I might start off with say like an hour and a half to 2.5 hours working on a project. And then I might take like an hour break or an hour and a half break. And then I'll focus another hour and a half on my project. And then I'll take another break. And then I'll kind of break up my chunks into smaller time chunks from there on out. Say I'll go from, say like 45 minutes to an hour or maybe 30 minutes to an hour sessions working on, acquiring more skills, whether it's, structured query language, or learning about probability and statistics, and learning about the theory behind probability and statistics, or learning more of the fine-tuning my skills, whether it's working with NumPy arrays or pandas data frames if you're using the Python programming language. So it's a matter of being able to just kind of structure my schedule to where I'm not doing so much at the same time, but kind of spacing it out throughout the day, which gives me something to do. And then like in between, I might say like do a set of like, I don't know, 20 or 30 push-ups, or I might do a plank, kind of keep those abs intact, or something along those lines. So that's kind of how I maintain. And the other thing too, what I really like about this program, and I'm going to post a link as well to this website, and you guys can check it out, is it actually provides structure, because previous to this, I didn't really have much structure. I was like, okay, well, today I'm just going to learn about for loops, and I'm going to learn about selecting data from a data frame. Now, the problem with that is it's good and all, but really to really tone on your skills, you've got to be able to practice them using like a real data set. Like, it helps to actually practice in a real data set, get yourself in a position where you're stuck, and force yourself to have to find the answer yourself without relying on, say, like the peer mentor help. Because this website does have a place where you can post questions if you're running into a problem. I like to use that as a last-ditch effort. I like to, if I'm running into a problem, I utilize, okay, what do I know how to do? What can I do that's within my skill set? Try to do, figure it out using that route. Even though it might be a few extra lines of code, I'm taking it upon myself to find answers on the internet myself. Because like I said, once you get a job as a data scientist or data analyst, depending on what your role is, you might not have anyone else to go up to or, get answers from. You might be the person that people are coming to you, with questions. They might be asking you the questions. So you've got to be able to be resourceful and really take it upon yourself to be able to find the answer. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now through these projects that I'm doing through this program. And like I said, I'm still going through I'm going to be starting, if all goes planned, which it should, I'll be starting my master's degree in data science this fall. And so let's see, what else am I going to say? Looks like I haven't gotten any comments yet. I was hoping to get some chat, but I'm looking to see if I do get something, I'll respond. If not, no worries. But it looks like I think I figured out that in my previous videos, I was making sure that I was visible to the camera view. So I had that on, and so I wasn't able to see the chat box. Oh yeah, so it looks like I got a response. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and yep. So let's see, I can respond. So yeah, thank you. And sorry if I don't get the typing correct. But see there, that's I guess that's the whole point of being able to do live streams, is either you're videotaping a live event or you're doing a blog that's live and you're able to respond to chat comments, which I think is the whole point of being able to do a live stream. So that's kind of cool. I've kind of figured that out because I know the screen that I'm seeing right now, it's got like a lag to it, so I can't really rely on that too much. I just have to kind of trust myself that it's all going smoothly. So yeah, it's maintaining discipline and motivation. It can be challenging during these times, especially when you find yourself having a lot of free time, like more free time than what what you can deal with. But I figure this is now the time to really take advantage of utilizing. And for any of you out there who are unemployed or looking to get into a new career field, I mean, I'm not saying you have to go for data science or data analyst or something, but really take this time and maybe pursue like acquiring some skill sets online. And who knows, if you're unemployed, any of you are unemployed out there, maybe you guys can take advantage of the free time you have, utilize online resources to acquire these new job skills. Because once society does start reopening up, it's going to probably happen gradually. It will probably become really important, especially if you're in an industry that's really been affected by this pandemic, that I'm sure a lot of people are in the same situation I'm in, having to acquire new job skills and so forth. But aside from that, it's really make use of the time. I mean, it's easy to become bored and whatnot, but really find something in your life. It would enable all this free time. It really gives you time to think, and it really gives you time to think of like where you can improve on your life. So like, for instance, like, what do I want to improve on my life? Well, I want to improve, on my finances. I want to improve on the jobs I'm able to get. I want to improve on my relationships or being able to establish relationships. I want to be able to improve, my odds of, getting myself in an intimate relationship. I want to be able to have my own place to live. So it's making me reflect on all those things. And it's like, well, how can I achieve all those things? And a lot of it comes down to attitude is a big part of it. But what can affect your attitude? What can affect your thoughts? And that is having a big part of that's being in a career field that you feel passionate about, that you feel like you're making a huge contribution, that you feel like you're getting a good amount of job satisfaction from. That's going to affect your attitude. It's going to affect your personality. And so it's kind of like a chain reaction. So I use this free time to kind of think about what's holding me back, what can I do, and be like, oh, okay, now I've got all this free time, this time that I would normally be having to put up with being bossed around by physical therapists as a physical therapy aid, or maybe this time that I could have been bossed around having to stock items at 80 to 100 packages per hour. and tidying up the shelves or working these really mundane jobs. Here I am now. That time that I would be spending doing that, I'm now spending that time acquiring new skill sets that's going to hopefully, and with perseverance and dedication, and there's going to be a little bit of luck, I can get myself a job as a data analyst before the end of the summer. The goal is by the end of the year, but I'd like to push that a little sooner, perhaps by the end of the summer, and that would be really good, because then I can just kind of really focus on other areas of my life. Like I know I need to focus on my social skills. Obviously, since my 20s and since around my mid 30s, pretty much from my mid 30s onward, I have pretty much been socially isolated for the most part. And, that's 10 years now. 10 years of not really socializing much. You lose a lot of your social skills. And with that, you tend to become socially awkward. And being that now I'm in my mid 40s, social interaction is a whole different ballgame than when you're even in your mid 30s or in your 20s. So I kind of need to find that guidance in how I can become successful in social interactions for someone in my age bracket. So that's where therapy comes into hand. And that's where specific therapy, maybe seeing a speech language pathologist or a relationship coach or someone that's really got the expertise in that part of, the psychology field that can really pinpoint me to like, okay, how can I become successful in social interactions for someone my age? So that's really driving me. That's really driving me to really hunker down. Like last week, I actually tally up my hours of how much I'm spending each week. And 2 weeks ago, I spent 30 hours a week, and that includes working on projects. Now, if you guys look at my GitHub, I have 3 repositories. What I'm doing now is I'm working on bigger projects, and I'm doing projects related to this nanodegree program. So probably within the next, I'd say week and a half, I'm probably going to have 2 more projects uploaded, and those are the 2 projects. Let's see, let's see if I ever get in. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Yes, let's see. I'm just finding this. I'm just. All right. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, so I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, so what was I saying? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So going back to it, yeah, I was talking about like uploading a couple more repositories onto my GitHub. So yeah, I figure within the next couple of weeks, I should have 2 more repositories added onto my GitHub. And then after that, there's probably going to be kind of a gap, because right now I'm actually started on the 3rd module, which deals with statistics and probability. And it's getting a little challenging, but not too much. I did have a statistics course when I went to community college a long time ago, but it's been a long time. So I kind of got to touch back up on my statistics and probability, but it was one of my favorite subjects. I love statistics and probability. And I've read that machine learning is like probability and statistics. It's like glorified statistics and probability mixed in with calculus. That's what I've read about machine learning. If that's the case, then I've definitely gotten myself into a great career field, because like I said, I love statistics. I love dealing with probability. And as a matter of fact, today I kind of learned like what's the probability of like someone's like saying, Donnelly, I didn't know you were a millionaire. I wish I were. Yeah. In my dreams. Well, I will say I used to live in a house that is worth $2.4 million as a child. Yes, that is true. I actually did live in a house that's now valued at $2.4 million. So I guess you would say, based on inflation, if my dad were still alive and he were working the same job, he would probably be making not $1 million, but he would be a millionaire by now. He would be a millionaire. But I guess it's that's kind of why I have high expectations, is because my biological dad and both of my stepdads were highly successful. I mean, they were pretty high up there in their jobs, and they made a decent living too. I mean, when you're able to retire and live, next to a world-renowned golf course, I mean, you do pretty well. I mean, that's just a given. I mean, so yes, it is true. I am lucky in the sense that yes, in some aspects, yes, I am lucky. Yes, in some aspects, I am lucky. Hopefully, I'm responding. Hopefully, that luck will come in handy when I finish this nano degree. Yes, I'm hoping that. So, like I said, like there's going to be probably a little gap in terms of uploading projects, but they're bigger projects, and I'm spending 20 plus hours on these projects. So, and you guys will see once it's uploaded to my GitHub, they're pretty detailed. And then what they recommend, what I was also told, what I was reading is they recommend that they call it like a recommit, like resubmitting your projects, like updating them, maybe adding more information to them. So yes, I got my, yep. Yeah. So like some of these projects that I've uploaded thus far, like the very first one that I did was comparing annual snowfall between Mount Rainier and Mount Baker ski area. Chances are I'm going to be updating that project, doing what's called a recommit, and probably doing some machine learning with that. As I learn machine learning, I'm going to be adding some like future predictions of like what the snowfall may be, like say over the next 5-10 years. So that's what happens. It's like even the projects that I upload within these upcoming weeks, more than likely I will be updating them, tweaking them out, getting more what they say granular information out of them. So what kind of projects? Well, let's see. Let me say projects. I'll say mostly dealing. I'm going to say mostly dealing with data analysis right now. I'm trying to, if I can spell analysis. Okay, so the projects, my first project, like I kind of mentioned, was comparing snowfall over the past 50 years at Mount Paradise, Mount Rainier National Park versus Mount Baker ski area, because they both pretty much have they're pretty much known to have the most annual snowfall out of anywhere else in the world. So I wanted to do a comparison to see which one actually got more snowfall, and they're pretty much identical. And then of course I analyzed like the trends of snowfall, like are they decreasing or increasing, and it was like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like a slight decrease in annual snowfall over the past 5 decades to then back in towards an increasing trend. And then I did another project where I just it was kind of like a really short project where I did playing around with a bunch of Python code where I just worked with functions, and it was like, you'd have to like, I'll post a link to my GitHub and you guys can see what the project is. It's kind of hard to describe, but my third project was analyzing Seattle rainfall over the past 72 years. And so I kind of made like a distribution plot of that, like how many years had rainfall that fell within a certain, range of, say like how many years had rainfall between like 30 and 35 inches. And so it's very similar actually to the first project that I've got to submit for this nano degree program. The first project, and it's not going to take me long to do, is I've got to basically create a very simple line graph comparing Seattle temperatures to the global temperatures over the past like 80 years. So all I've got to do is compare the average temperature for Seattle over the past 70 or 80 years compared to the global temperature over the past 70 or 80 years, and determine what are some of the trends, like how does the temperature in Seattle compare to the temperature globally. Very easy, just have to kind of point out some trends, very straightforward. Might even take me less than a couple hours, might only take me an hour and a half, who knows, but that's kind of why I haven't started it, because I'm really focusing on my second project right now, which I'm working with a data set that's, it's a data set consisting of over 100,000 rows. So it's a fairly large data set, and it's from Brazil, and it's on no-shows. It's on patients who show or do not show to their medical appointment. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out what are the variables that are involved in someone not showing up to their appointment. Is it gender? Is it age? Is it if they have any comorbidities? Is it whether or not they got like an SMS text? Or could it be a day of the week? And so the project is you have to answer at least 3 questions. You have to include at least 3 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. And of course, the dependent variable is whether or not they show or they don't show. My first independent variable is, of course, gender and age. So that's actually 2 right there. The next one I'm going to be comparing is whether or not if the person had hypertension or if they were diabetic or if they had like a handicap or if they were an alcoholic, were certain people with certain ailments more likely to no-show for their appointment. And then the third variable I'm looking at is day of the week. Are certain people more likely to no-show on a particular day of the week? So that's what the project entails. And it sounds pretty simple, but when you're combining it with Python coding and trying to make it look really neat and actually make it presentable, then that's where the time comes in. That's where the time really starts to add up. Like, especially when I'm trying to determine how I can, really become familiarized with using what are called the pandas package in Python. Oh yeah, Java. Oh yes, Java. Yes, Java is. I'm just finding someone. Yeah, it's like good. I'm trying to. Hey man, yeah, yes, Java and JavaScript. I want to say. Now I've heard those programming languages are a lot more challenging to learn. Python is supposedly like an easy language programming to learn comparatively. Now, as in terms of easy, I don't know. I mean, if that's true or not, but I guess they say if you can learn one programming language, you're able to learn other programming languages a little easier. But I think the ones that are really commonly used in data science is R and Python. Those are like the 2 common programming languages used in data science, R and Python. So right now I'm really focusing on Python, and this nanodegree program really utilizes Python more than anything else. So that's kind of why I'm focusing on using Python for now. And let's see, what else? So I'm kind of getting off into a tangent now, but yeah, this is, of course, so right now I'm working on a project that's working with a data set consisting of over 100,000 rows of data. It's a data set that's from Brazil, trying to analyze what are the possible correlations involved in terms of someone not showing up to their appointment. Now, of course, you can't really make these findings applicable to the society in general, because maybe people in the United States might have other, reasons why they don't show up to their appointment. Maybe it's related to their job. Maybe there are other factors. So there are part of making the project stand out is addressing the limitations in my findings. And so it looks like I'm starting to kind of lose my voice a little bit here. And I think I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit here. As you can see, I've been doing live streaming now for a total of about 40 minutes now, and I'm trying to lose my voice. So that kind of shows there that I haven't really been socially active these past several years. I mean, I haven't been really socially active since about my mid-30s, but over these past 4 years, it's definitely caught up to me, and it's like I've pretty much lived a really isolated life. So obviously my voice is going to become kind of scratchy. So I think I'm going to, I meant to say what's up. I hate when I do typos, because then it's like, okay, there we go. All right, so I think I'm going to cut this short now. I'm going to I think I'm gonna leave it at it. See, I'm losing my train of thought now. I'm kind of like just spitting out words, and I think it's kind of just getting to. I'm kind of just getting to the point where it's like, okay, I think it's time to call it a day, and I'm gonna spend the rest of the evening kind of focusing on learning some SQL. Spend about 20-25 minutes doing that, and if I tally up the total time I've spent working on projects and acquiring skills, it's going to be over 6 hours for the day. So that's how I like to spend my Mondays for now, really devoted to really acquiring skills. So I think I'm going to, so it's funny. Yeah. won't talk for a while, then meet some people and lose my voice very fast. Yeah, that's going to be me when I start meeting people. Yep, more than likely I'm going to lose my voice. It's like makes me really have mad respect for singers, because it's like they're able to sing song, they're able to sing loud, aggressively, and yet they don't lose their voice. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to end it on that. So like I said, utilize this free time to really focus on something that you could improve on your life with, whether it's looking for new job skills, or maybe you're looking to gain some new skill sets for your current job, whatever it may be. And I'm going to be posting, once this video uploads, it's probably going to take a while before it actually uploads and becomes available for me to edit. But I can edit it sooner, but I think I'm going to wait for it to officially upload, and then I'll go ahead and post a link to my GitHub, to my LinkedIn, and to this website that I've been using to where I'm pursuing this nano degree program from, Data Analyst Nano Degree Program. So once again, I thank you all for watching, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to sign off for now, but I thank you all for joining me in. Let's think of it. Yeah. So yeah, thank you all for joining me in. Thank you all for your comments and posts. Looking forward to when I do another live stream. At least I've figured out how this works. So enjoy the rest of your evening or day, wherever you're at. Be safe, and hopefully we can get through this pandemic, sooner rather than later. But in all honesty, it's probably going to come down to it's going to come down to scientists and doctors coming up with a vaccine. And who knows, maybe by the time I get myself all finished up with my data science career field, data science master's degree, I can maybe work as part of a medical team as a data scientist and help maybe, help, do some machine learning and help, be part of a team that helps, develop vaccines or whatnot. Okay, I'm kind of just losing my train of thought here. So once again, thank you all for watching. I'll be back with more. Peace out.